ride me with a bag with a holder. If you ever try to play me, use a holder. Hold up.
Hey girlies, I'm back with another YouTube video today, and this one is a story time. This is about the time where I was 14 and pregnant. Okay, not like that. Okay, so it all started in 8th grade. I was being grown and I was talking to this boy, and you know, we made pancakes. And okay, you know. Okay. And after really that situation, that was my first time doing something, so I wasn't studying it. And I just let time pass by, and I remember my period didn't come. But my best friend, her period was coming, and she got hers before mine, but hers stopped. So I was like, okay, so, you know, when girls be around each other for a long time, her period stopped, my period stopped. You know, okay, same thing. Okay, so fast forward to 9 months later. Everybody was like, how don't you know you were pregnant? I really didn't feel anything, honestly. I mean, besides the day I gave birth, I really didn't feel any pain, discomfort. I can't say that I was tired because I did have gym. And when I was running, I noticed I had to be like, and I used to be sweating like really hot. But other than that, no, I don't think there was anything else. Okay, so 9 months later, my mom was living in an apartment at the time because her and my dad had just split up. And my aunt, she was like, y'all come eat. And I noticed my stomach was cramping. And then we came to eat, and the food, it was nasty. She didn't stop cooking. But we ain't even gonna get into that. Okay, so I was eating, and then I went to lay back down in my room, and something didn't just sit right with me. My stomach kept hurting, but it wasn't like a hurt. It was just like period cramp. So I was like, okay. And it was just cramping. I was just like, okay. So then I went to sleep later that night. I was sleeping in my mom's room. And as soon as I laid down, I felt like somebody was stabbing me in my back. I know people say girls are exaggerating when they say that, but no. It felt like somebody was stabbing me in my back. So I was like, okay. And then I laid down. I would only get like 15 minutes of sleep. I lay down, wake up, sudden pain. Lay down, wake up, sudden pain. And I was going through that all night. I was staying up to like, I think I stayed up that whole night, besides the 15 minutes of sleep I would get. And then finally, it was like 6 o'clock in the morning. And my mom, she usually takes my sisters, Brianna and Jasmine, to my dad's house so they can go to school. So I begged her. I was like, Mom, please drop me off, please. And she dropped me off, but she was confused. She was like, girl. I was like,
noise. Nobody want to hear that shit.
Okay. And she took me to my dad's house, and when I went there, that's when the pain was like unbearable. Like, it was unbearable. Me and my sister, we were sharing a room at the time. Like, now I'm in my own room, but we were sharing a room at the time. And we had like twin-sized beds beside each other. She was laying in her bed, and I was laying in mine, and I had my butt facing the air. My dad said, let's go. And he took them to school. He was like, you're not going? I was like, my stomach hurt. So I'm laying down with my face like on the bed and my butt in the air. And it felt good. So I was like, okay. But then I sat back down. It was like, it felt like somebody was like ripping my insides out. That's the only way I can explain a contraction. And people ask me, how did I know my water broke or anything like that? I didn't have a water break. I know that sounds stupid, but I didn't experience that. And if I did, it was probably when I peed, and I probably assumed it was just pee. Okay, so my dad took my sisters to school, and I went downstairs because it's dark down there and there was no light. It was like bright in my room like it is now. So I was watching I Didn't Know I Was Pregnant. And guess who don't watch that show no more?
Stupid.
Okay, I was watching I Didn't Know I Was Pregnant. I was down there for about an hour, just tossing and turning on the couch. And then I felt an urge. And when I felt the urge, I was confused. I was like, oh, this pain for a doo-doo? Really? It felt like I had to push, like I had to doo-doo. So I was like, okay. So I was on the phone with this I think it wasn't 911, but it was like a pain hotline or something like that. And they was like, describe the pain you're in, blah, blah, blah. And I was talking to them, but I wasn't, because I was getting cramps, and I got a certain urge to push, and I dropped the phone. And I remember running to the bathroom, and I'm pushing, and it feels like giving birth feels like a big doo-doo. I'm be real honest. But once you start doodling, you can't finish. You can't stop doodling. It's just gonna happen. So I was pushing. I tried to like gain my conscious, like not consciousness, but I tried to like, and I could not. It was just like keep going. I'm like, the fuck? What did I eat that got me like this? So then I'm like, and then something hits the toilet. And I'm like, oh my god. And it was like relief. And then I look, and I'm like, why am I bleeding? And I looked, and it was in a biblical cord. And I was like, oh shit, bitch. Ooh, let me stop cussing. Okay, so I was like, okay, and I looked, and I seen my daughter in the toilet. And I was like, okay, and I didn't know anything about a placenta at the time or none of that. I just seen her, and her biblical cord was like in her hand. So I just opened her hand, took the biblical cord out, and then I started patting on her back and clearing her mouth so she could breathe. And she would make no noise. I touched her little feet to make sure she would move. She didn't do none of that. So I just continued to do like baby CPR and tapping her and help her for like 20 minutes. And then after that, I was just like, I mean, she's not gonna get up, so all right. So then after that, I went and sat in the toilet again, and I had her in my arms, and I seen this bag come out of me, and I was like, I'm dying. I did not know what a placenta was. I did not know what afterbirth was. I didn't know what none of that was. So when I seen that, I was like, damn, this really is. I'm finna die. I know it's not. Okay, let me stop. Okay, so then after that, I got in the bathtub. Sorry, my sister had called. Okay, so I got in the bath, and I let the shower run down, and I was just sitting there, and I was just thinking about the whole 9 months. Now I can't remember, but I was just thinking, I was just like, really? That could happen to me? I was like, I didn't even feel nothing this whole time, nothing. But I do remember that I would throw up, but I only threw up like 3 times, maybe. I had ate cake, and then as soon as I got done eating cake, I threw it up. And then I got a pill in the shower, and I threw that pill up. And then I was like, okay. But that was like towards the end. Okay, so after we got in the bath and washed up, I threw the placenta away, and I put the biblical cord in there. But yeah, I threw that away. And then I cleaned up, she cleaned up, and then I went to the den, and my sister had her cover in there, and it was her favorite cover, but it was my baby, so it's either my baby or your cover, and it was my baby. And I got the cover, and I gave it to her, and I wrapped her up in it, and I'll go get it. And I got this cover. It's soft on the inside. Okay, I'll insert a picture, because that was just like, what the fuck is that, Alicia? I know. Okay, so I got this cover, and I didn't know how to swaddle, but I attempted to swaddle her, and I sat her in there, and then I just cleaned up the bathroom a little bit, and I would go peek out on the couch. She didn't move, she wasn't breathing. I was like, okay. So then I accepted the fact that she wasn't here, but I did get to spend the time I wanted to spend with her. So I cleaned her up, and then sat on the couch, and then I cleaned up, and then we went. I know I turned off. I didn't know I was pregnant, because I would never watch that show ever again in my life. Period. Never.
No ma'am. No ma'am.
Okay, I turned off. I didn't know I was pregnant. And then I went upstairs, and my dad's room was upstairs. And I didn't want to go in my room, because I was sharing a bed with my sister, and not a bed, I was sharing a room with my sister, and I didn't want her to come home and be like, oh my gosh, blah, 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 blah. So I was in my dad's room, because he went to work, and his girlfriend went to work after they dropped them off. And I was just sitting there, and I FaceTimed my best friend. And when I FaceTimed her, I was like, bitch, I just had a baby. She was like, girl, stop playing. I was like, it's not a joke. It's not funny. It's nothing to laugh at. I had a baby. And she was like, let me see. And I let her see her. And she was like, oh, I'm coming home, blah, blah, blah. I think she checked out of school. She called her brother. And then I just sat there for about a good hour or two, spending time with her and watching TV and stuff like that. And then my dad, he get off work when he wants to because he's self-employed. So I heard him come down the street. So I ran. I turned his TV off. I went in my room. I went in my room and he was in there. No. I went in my room and then he came in shortly. And then he was like, hey, Laisha. I was like, hey, Daddy. Little did you know I just had your grandchild. And then my best friend came towards like 7 o'clock. So when she came, she called my mom. And she called my mom and she was like, we was on three-way. She was like, hey, Miss Monique. Yeah, my mama named Monique. Alicia just had a baby. And she was like, who? What Alicia? My Alicia ain't have no baby. She was like, yeah, Alicia told me she had one. And I was like, and I had her on mute, but I was just crying. She was like, okay, let me call you back. And then I was like, and then I heard her call my mama. And I was like, Mom, please don't tell Daddy. Please don't tell Daddy. This heifer done told my daddy. My daddy walk up in the room. He like, I'm like, damn, everybody hate me. So then my daddy's girlfriend, her name is Keyshawn. She was like, Brianna and Jasmine, let's go get food and ice cream. She took her kids and my daddy kids and they went to go get ice cream. So I'm like, damn, I'm finna get a whooping. Everybody left and it's being my daddy. He finna tear me up. And then he didn't say nothing to me. And then my best friend came and she was like, oh my God, she's beautiful. And she was holding my daughter. My mom was like, y'all true best friends because I cannot hold anything like deceased. I was like, girl, hush. So she was holding her and she was like, she's pretty, Alicia. And I was like, thank you, stuff like that. And then my mom called. No. My auntie Angie came with my mama. My mama came, my auntie Angie, and my sister Brady. And I was like, oh, spit. And then my mama called the ambulance. And she trying to speak on the ambulance. Meanwhile, auntie Angie, she's screaming, ah! I'm like, it's not funny, but I'm like, girl, calm down. I thought it was a big deal, but at the moment, I didn't think it was a big deal. And that was immature of me. But Auntie Angie screaming and crying. She holding her. She was like, she's beautiful though. She got a head full of hair like you. I'm just like, yeah. And then she was very light skinned like me. Like she was brighter than me. So she was like, she looked a little like purple and stuff. But I didn't realize that until looking back on pictures that was in my mom's phone. And yeah, my auntie was looking at her. She was like, did you hit her or anything? I was like, no. She's deceased. She's not going to be a normal color. And then my mom called the ambulance. And as soon as my mom called the ambulance, like, I was tired. Like, I was tired. So as soon as she called the ambulance, I was just like, it was like a sigh of relief because I lost a lot of blood. And when I woke up, I was on a gurney inside the back of a truck. My daddy was following behind us. My sister was following behind us. And then they wheeled me in to Southern Regional. And my sister, she see me. She like, ooh. And I'm like, ooh. And then she was really just like, you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm good. So she made sure I was straight and stuff like that. And then they wheeled me into this little room. And then they was telling me to get undressed and stuff like that. They gave me an ultrasound. And I was like, it's nothing in there, so you don't gotta do all that. But she gave me the ultrasound anyway. And then when she gave me the ultrasound, they put me back in my room. And that's when the detectives came. My mom was like, if a detective come, don't talk to nobody. You talk to me before you talk to them. And they came in there when it was just me and them. And it was like, so who's the baby's father? And as soon as they said that, my sister came in the room. She said, get out. And they had to get out. And then they got out and all that stuff. And then I had to get stitches. And stitches are the worst. Even when I have a child within like 5 years or 5 years from now, I'm gonna try not to rip, because when I had stitches, it was horrible. Like, I can't describe the pain of that, because I was ripped from the rooting to the tootie, literally. So I got the stitches, and then my family was coming in there and stuff, and then like they waited, and like 2 hours later I got discharged. I went home, and then I was crying. I was crying a lot. But then after a while, it was just like, dang. And I cried so much that my eyes were swollen. I'm gonna look to see if I got a picture, and if I do, it'll be inserted. But if not, then yeah. My eyes were swollen, like swollen, and I had to get help using the bathroom. I had to wear pads and diapers and stuff, and I felt like a baby all over again. I had a baby, and then I felt like I was a baby. And then after that, it was my sister's birthday. Yeah, I had the day before my sister's birthday. We had to go to a birthday party in the park and stuff like that. And I was trying to smile and be happy for her because I know I ruined her birthday. So I was just like, And I was still in pain. So I was just smiling and stuff. And I was getting babied. And I was just like, dang. I was just really taking the light up for her. And then after her birthday, what happened? It was really just a recovery process. Like, I didn't want to go into my dad's house for a long time because I was like, dang. I just had a baby now. I'm not walking in his house with the baby, so it don't feel right. And then I had to like, not mature fast, but I had to like realize that she's not coming back. So you can't live in the past. That's why I got the tattoos of her, because it's like, oh, you should come on. So after a while, I got over it. But then like my family, they would like hold that over me. I don't know if that makes sense, but like they would like not judge me because of it, because it's like, but they would like use that situation to define who I am, and that situation does not define who I am or who I will ever be. But yeah, I'm gonna insert pictures of my daughter if I do. They'll be right here. And yeah, I just thank God for letting me experience that. And yeah, that's it. But like and comment and subscribe to my channel, and thank you. Bye girlies.